Your sound.
The bass so dark.
It's funny that, you know, when you think about, out of all of the electronic music that's out there, how drum and bass has this fan base thing, you know, it's almost this weird thing that financially never really did us that well. Well, did me all right. No, we did a certain amount of, I think the fan base itself is so like die hard. You know, I'm still a fanboy. I'm still a fanboy of the music. I'm still a fanboy of Ryder and Fabio and Scotty. And obviously your thing with the whole thing and Metalheadz and, you know, he bears the mark. But the idea of Dispatch and what you went through with that. What was your like first experience of Headz music?
It was Pesce Psychosis.
Was it?
Yeah, at that age I wasn't quite old enough to go to clubs.
What was it? What was it?
14, 15. But yeah, about 15. Yeah. And my first visualization of it was buying that record and seeing that logo, and it just really caught me. And as I remember, it just became something that I just kind of had this hunger to follow. I thought, this is a real different sound. It's kind of got everything I love about the drums. It's got the power of the drums. You know, when you compare it to stuff like, for example, another musical great, PFM, Good Looking. The difference was with Headz, when I first started hearing, it had that soul, it had that level of musicality, but it also had the power in the drums and the bottom end as well. And it was just, it caught me like it did a lot of people. If you look at the Blue Note video, and people talk about, they don't know how to describe what they felt about it even. They kind of stumble and get stuck. And it's more of an emotion and a feeling that they struggle to describe because it was so new. It's hard to describe something that's so new. I find it that way anyway, and I did back then. But what I did know is I became an avid, for whatever reasons was spinning around in my head, I became an avid follower of this label and thought, this is the kind of direction I think this music needs. And I felt it followed, reinforced. I could see why people like Dot Scott and stuff gravitated towards the label and Alex Reese and stuff. It was for me, it felt like an outlet where they could be truly creative. Whereas at that time, if you were to do something for something like Good Looking, you'd be looking to get your music played by Bookham. You'd be dying to get your music in the sets because of how big it was at the time, how great a DJ he's always been, known for being. And I think with Metalheadz, it never, at the start, especially because you weren't really DJing at the start, it never really kind of had that DJ at the forefront.
I couldn't mix a salad, mate, back then. Yeah. I was just wanting to be a producer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of people, their access to Metalheadz, when I speak to them, especially people from down south, it was going to Blue Note. Mine was reverse. It was hearing the label first and then finding out about Blue Note.
Did you ever get to Blue Note?
After. I never did. No.
So, man, I saw
couldn't afford it.
I saw that Ben. Look at you, I saw that Ben. Is it Ben UFO did that tape cassette once?
Yeah, I never went to Blue Note.
It
was real popular.
It was real popular. That
yeah.
But it's mad. You think about Jack was there week in week out. Scream's older brother.
Yeah.
You know the amount of influence that place had.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It was the stuff of legend. But I mean, for me, Rage was stuff of legend, and of course it is.
What we did do is when you had your Headz nights, one big one for me was one you did in Leeds, and there was one at Bradford University. What was the sound system called? I think it was Eskimo Noise.
Probably Eskimo,
yeah. And I think Randall, Pesce, Kemi and Storm were on that one. Who else? And that was just a ridiculous night. And hearing those DJ selectors play, the Headz sound to bring it up live when I was just about old enough to get into clubs. I think actually I probably wasn't even old enough for that one, but I snuck in. Managed to get in there. And yeah, the night just blew my mind. It was different to the other drum and bass nights that we went to because it was more musically for us. It wasn't like you were hearing one DJ play, he's all right. It's not really my kind of bag, that sound. Our gang at that point, our group, when we went to that night, that was the one that really solidified. Headz being the major thing for us to follow.
So years after, for me, I think the years after that, when you're in the throw of it, it's different. But I think, be it 7 years, 7.5, about to throw the towel, and you think, I think artistically you get burnt out, and I also feel that the amount of opportunities I gave a lot of people to work for the label, where, so like you said, you got to be responsible. You got to go, you know what? I've employed these tits. I've employed whoever the fuck it is to absolutely make a complete fuck up of this. But the moniker itself, the label itself, it's got its own way. It's bigger than me. And I think that the good problem to have is that the music is bigger than any DJ that played it. That's always been my thing. There's that thing where you just serve the music. Always used to say with Kemi, it's that thing in the air, what his head's going to like it. Not me. Yeah, is it a thing that fits in with the moniker? Because it's never been a label to me. It's always been a moniker. It's always been an icon. It's always been a way of life in that really weird way of saying it. And believe me, if you love drum and bass music and you want to do stuff like music with integrity, believe me, don't do it, because it's a lonely place to do what we do. However, I think the real shift in the last 4 years, getting in the green, doing really well with it, and artistically, actually wanting to pick up the phone and call an artist again has been amazing. You know what I mean? Like, right, this is really good. Like, phased. Right, you're going to get the call. You will get the late night call. Yeah. And that's been great, that process. Yeah. And have you found that working, I do all the artistic stuff on the label. And people get really surprised by that. They go, does he still listen to music? I'm like, fucking who else is going to? I've got to hear it. I've got to, if it's a shortfall, I'll say to you, right, have a listen to that and let me know.
The amount of times when people ring me up, I'm like, Goldie, just had to go up there. Because I've only sending music to you and not him as well. I've had that a few times, to be fair.
Yeah, said he just...
he still does listen to it and approve it all and, talks to me on the phone about what we should sign, track layout, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So...
what I had to do, I had to just dive vertical, because I was just getting inundated. I'm like, right, if it's worthy, bring it to the chamber. Get it through the filters. Do you know what I mean? Because I ain't got to... So I said to Tom with this kid,
there's a lot of demos.
It's a classic example. And this is a real lesson for anyone out there, really. I said to this, I get it. I'm not here to chew the fat or to sham it up some way that it's not. I'll send demos to level 4 and no one got back to me. Believe me, if it ain't running, it ain't going to get back to you. And neither is Tom, or neither is anyone else. But as far as the label's concerned, people just go, what's it? How do you even get a response? How do you get on the label? The door's open. Yeah. Wide open. It's like you just got to make original music. It doesn't have to be, I think also, it doesn't have to be, we're just getting Metalheadz, we're getting breaks, we're getting the assembly line, and everyone's going to love it. That's really not what it is.
Well, that's the thing, we get that a lot. I think people try too hard and overbake the whole, let's really kind of pay homage to Headz, do you know what I mean? It's the same samples, same sounds every time. It's like you're trying to recreate something that was done in the mid-90s. You listen to someone like Grey Code, in particular, the way he does it now, he more does his own thing with a touch of Headz on top. If I was going to give it a real simple explanation, do you know what I mean?
You know what I love about Grey Code, what I love as an artist, him and Phase especially, that you look at something like Prima as a track on his album. It's probably the straightest one on there, right? But I think before we got locked down, I think the last 5 gigs, New York, LA, I think I was with LA with Fabio, absolutely just dismantle that place with that track.
Yeah.
Because it's the same in Phase with Tatters or, Shore to Shore.
Yeah.
The level of production. Yeah. And, obviously you had an excursion with Grey Code before. It's really weird because I also see with Dispatch with your own thing. I remember what we were doing with Reinforced and the dub label of Headz. It's kind of like it was kind of what was happening now. I'd pull it in, and I think obviously his first excursion was like, remember you saying to me, check this guy Grey Code out. Got me attention, and then hearing what he'd done. Obviously, I think the biggest break for any artist is self-responsibility. I mean, Journeyman, that ain't no easy remix of The River to do.
Yeah.
And I think him playing at Egg after me at I think I've done 5 till 6 and he's doing 6 till 7, I think it was.
See his little face when you came jumping in.
Sorry, Spencer. I love Spencer. That's why I sent you the hat. You had your little flat cap on and you came on. Believe me, mate, I ain't no DJ, brother, but I tell you this now. I used to go on after Randall or after you know, I have to. I mean, Groove at Blue Note. If I've got to follow Groove or Scotty, oh god, I spent more time having a meltdown in the bathroom, going, oh my god, how am I going to get through this? Oh god, someone give me some go. You know what I mean? You know, it was a hedonistic time. But me getting on, you know, like seriously, it was almost like the Moonmin people. The clangers would come, I'd just be bashing it across. Just go on, just do it. They didn't hear that. I didn't, just go. But the idea of following anyone, you know, with Glaycard must have been, you know, Spencer, you know, he came on and he played a blinder. He played a blinder and set.
And that was with that lineup at that night as well. The lineup we put together for that across all the rooms. You know, you were being watched. Not just by the...
but you see, that's the thing. Yeah. You see, when you were playing at Blue Note, that was the thing. Yeah, you were being watched at ground level.
Yeah.
This wasn't... We're talking ground level stuff. You know, I always say to people, GL, baby. You know, what do you mean ground level, mate? Like, you know, at Blue Note, it's ground level. It's the same as, like, you know, at ground level, you get a different command of respect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think when... I remember doing a gig with Andy and Randall, and it was at Terminals. Okay. And it was ground level. And then, I think, you know, because when Andy came on and did a headset, I mean, he came in and did a number.
Mm.
And it's, you know, DJ after DJ having to do that. That's what Blue Note's premise was, at ground level. Mm. So fast forward, Egg, which I think is a wicked club.
Yeah.
And every room was round.
Yeah, it was.
And for me, it was better because... For me, not being in London and being in Thailand, coming back to playing in England became a nice thing for me because I kind of got a little bit.
But it's even more nice when it's a Headz night and every room's full. You know, it's a mean feat filling that venue. The capacity is high.
What have you enjoyed the most about the label? The way that it's running now, I think, over the last year has been really good. I think it's been like in terms of the way that it's running, the schedule, for example.
I think for me, it's with a label like Headz, and you know, with your old guard and your very old school followers, that you know, I always say Headz. One of the reasons Headz still does really well on vinyl, in particular, better than pretty much any other DnB label out there. I dare say, quote me if I'm wrong though. You've still got a lot of the older fans like me that still collect every bit of vinyl, you know, and vinyl is as much of a collector item now as it is something you might listen to or not. We reckon at the minute probably about a third of all buyers. Keep the vinyl in the shrink wrap, don't even play it, you know, put it on the wall or something.
Probably.
With Headz, especially with the creativity behind the artwork and the various slants and remixes on the artwork itself that we've had across releases, it always looks great, it's really strong. And I think for me with that, it was always my biggest challenge and joy is seeing not only new and younger fans come into what is essentially an old label. It's been there from the start pretty much. It's also, on top of that, you know, like you look at how old Phased and Grey Code are. You know, we've gotten to a point now after some releases, they're wanting to do albums.
I think
they've completed LPs for us. You know, it's mad.
I know.
And it has this effect. You know, you mentioned you talked with Spencer's dad originally and stuff like that. So,
I'm speaking to Spencer says, my dad's a real big fan, wants to speak to him. I'll speak to his dad.
That's when you feel old, isn't it? I'm getting there.
And I'm like, you know, I felt a little bit like, you know, and he goes, well, you can check him out, bring him back later on, make sure he's okay. You know, like when it's like, you know, when it's just weird because, you know, it's impressive. I couldn't make it up. I mean, 25 years, the label's like, you know, 26, pushing. And the concept of that first 001 release being Scotty, I mean, even I said to Scotty the other night, I mean, you couldn't make it up, and I pinched myself thinking about it because within the label, it's just Freudian for me. I smell it. I could smell acetate, dub plates when they were cut. The room of smoke when it was filled with weed, we went in the cutting room, or you know when you're in the club and you just get this idea and you think, I'm hearing Terminator being played with Dark Angel, and he just goes in the mix, and I'm turning to Scotty, and I'm like, and he says to me, we just hug it out. MDAs were really good back then, and we hug it out. But the idea of it's no longer ours. The music's not ours. And the label, it's not my label. It's your label. It's the scenes thing. It's that, I like to call it the kind of stalwart, the guard. I've always loved Gatekeeper, and it wasn't even on a label. I think it was one of Fresh's best tunes. I mean, the whole idea of gatekeeping. You know, I think I've always felt that way. I feel that the label needs to have people. The icon needs to have that. And Kemi's always gone, it's all about the label. It's about the head, you know. It should always be about what is, it's an entity, we always call it entity, the entity. And I love that, because I think that all of these new lot that are looking in, we just became the Motown of it, almost. You know, when people go, how do you know about Headz? Well, my dad's record collection. How did you find this one? I found a jungle record in my dad's collection. It got me into music. Whichever way you come into it.
Yeah.
You know. So that's what I'm interested to think with your thing, which is now our thing. You know, I think you've been a brilliant label manager. I mean, it's the only time I'm going to fucking tell him. For the record, it's the only time I'm fucking tell him, because tomorrow will be a different thing. So I'll throw my stuff out the pram again.
You definitely got that bit right.
Cool. Yeah, but I mean, and also the idea that you kind of gravitated to Asia as well. It's been great for you. I think there was a time when you were, I fucking had enough of these people, fucking whinging, bollocks. You know, they're all fucking whinging, they're no names, but they're fucking whinging, and when I call them up, it's like a different story. It just became this thing where, well, you know, what comes with it, Ant, I told you, that's what comes with it. You know, and I had to shed a lot of skin. And you've got to get thick skin in it because I am very sensitive and I am very emotional to do with the music. And I think it's brilliant the way that you've just gone, you know what, just do me a favour, kindly fuck off, because I've got work to do.
I'll do it a bit nicer.
Yeah. I'd like to think, for me, it's kindly fuck off. I ain't got time for it. And I think you being here and going through your training, you know, has been wicked, because people go, I mean, I better leave it.
It does my head a lot better more than anything, to be honest with you. Straightens me out. So.
This 25 album, let's get to it. I think the jump off point was Printworks. I mean, we sold that out. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
By 3 PM, an underground label that's still got its integrity, run by 3 people with some outer tentacles. We've got this thing sold out with all of my heroes.
Do you not find it really strange? I walked up to the venue. I think you probably drove in. You know me, bus pass, and it's still. So I got off the bus and I got off the tube and walked up to the venue. I remember going past like coffee shops and seeing like kids out playing in the day, and I thought, this is weird.
Yeah, but you see, for your generation, it's weird, but for my generation, the one thing I always wanted to do with Headz back in the day was all dayers.
Yeah. Because
we were from all dayers. I've gone to like Powerhouse on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah. Rock City, Nottingham, infamous, mate. 2 PM, Rock City. Yeah. Go in there, come out of it when it's like just getting dark.
Just seems strange to do a set at like 3 PM in a pitch black club when you got these little coffee shops and all this normality going on outside.
What was brilliant about it is that you go in there, I loved it. You went in there, that venue's been sold out on lots of gigs, right? But Headz sold out before anything else early on. So, it was full, but it was full earlier on. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, timing-wise, yeah.
It was full really early. I mean, when Rodigan went on, it was like pretty much there. Rodigan it was over half full. And Rodigan, I want to be like Rodigan when I get to, I mean, still going strong, do you know what I mean?
I think when you look at people turning up for what we do or what we did at Printworks, just to give a prime example, that early, it kind of shows you just how passionate the people that have stuck with us and the new fans we've got coming into this music now and into our label. It just shows you just how really kind of heartfelt and passionate they are about it, because you think about a lot of other genres, you know, I mean, the old classic house and techno thing. Do you remember years ago we couldn't get a venue on a Saturday night? Yeah. It was all about champagne buying house and techno fans a lot of the time, and the fact that they'd spend, it's a fact, this is just, me kind of making something up about it. People would, no, I'm trying not to think, but I'm not saying they don't love the music, but that's the thing that came with it. I'd speak to event promoters and bar and club owners, and they said, it's all there in black and white, these people spend more money than your D&Bs. Your D&Bs coming on a Friday. You're lucky you're getting a Friday. You don't spend that much.
Can I have a water, please?
Yeah, exactly. just chuck this biscuit down.
Digest it?
Still tastes bad. But yeah, that's the thing. And to see it shift so much and that old mentality shift, and to have people turning up at Printworks so early, it shows you that they're all about the music, not the rest of the trimmings around it.
Yeah.
You know, it means a lot to me.
I mean, I was like, wow. I mean, it was just. I mean, I think that's where I met Larry. Well, Ryder played his tune. Call you Larry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what a tune. I mean, you know, that's what I love watching people like Groove over the years still being able to do what he does. Pull out a horrible piece of Floating Storm. What a set.
Yeah, they had a lot of good things about that.
They pretty much smashed that up, that place.
I was playing at the same time in the other room, so I missed that. But
really?
I had nothing but good things about that set.
I did out. I mean, that's what the thing is about it. That, you know, I think what chemistry instilled in the kind of female genre, the model of it, playing.
Kenny was my favourite DJ for years to start.
Lengthy mixes.
Yeah.
Riding out the swing of the tracks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not a lot of people could do that.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people could do that. And I mean, that's what I think with Flight and Storm, they really, you know, I was walking around the venue and I'm like, wow, this is insane.
Yeah.
And you got this kid here, and the guy going, Gold, me and my wife, got a babysitter in for the weekend, you know what I mean? We're out, got a hotel down the road, love the music. You know, I mean, some serious people I've known for years.
Yeah, I love that. I love hearing that.
There's a couple, I can't remember the bloody name. Redskin girl, and I don't know what's her boyfriend's name, is it Ant? Tall guy, I think he's a fitness instructor. I've seen him since the beginning of Headz. They were boyfriend and girlfriend, then they got married. You know what I mean? It's just mental.
Yeah.
So the CDs,
we've got
3 parts.
Blue Notes 25, meaning 25 years, of course, remixed and remastered. We've got Blue Notes 25 Originals, where we're re-releasing some of your Headz highlight choices, the ones we agreed on, and then for me the most exciting part, it's the largest part of it, which is part 3. It's a collection of all the new music which people have made specifically for the Headz 25 LP. So yeah, just on the singles, we've got one of the most special ones for me. It's one from Chaotic Chemistry. Also known as Two Bad Mice.
Sean O'Keefe.
Your favourite, my favourite from day one, pretty much.
Really.
You know, so...
well, that Shades of Rhythm, and then of course, obviously, this is Deranged, yeah. There's those tunes at that point.
Yeah.
Two Bad Mice.
This is a massive one for us because it's a type of release, this one, that I never would have dreamed of being able to sign to any label, you know. So for us to get our heads, it's a great thing. It also features Dead Boy on remix duties, Madcap, and Wheeler from Warren Wheeler.
The artwork on this album, along with it, even with the animation, the Armani Rain, Atlanta, up in here. Well, my Philly massive, my Philly family. You know, he did a whole voiceover thing.
Voiceover's incredible.
It's brilliant, right? Isn't it?
Yeah.
But sir, how will we?
Sound like him.
Armani's amazing. I mean, he's a master of voices.
Yeah, for sure.
And Armani, you know, he's my family. And I think the idea of him doing this, doing the kind of, you've got to see the animation. I don't know when are we going to launch it, the animation. It's like...
With the main album, I'd say it makes most sense.
It's a really beautiful thing where we've got these stills. And John Prothero, who I reached out to, because I love his artwork, I said, look, do you want to have a crack at these things and do these drawings? He came up with the most, you know, I'd like to say, art direction. And we came up with something really incredible.
The thing is, we've only teased parts of it. People have only seen little bits of what he's done, really, little teasers. Through the events, the 25-year events so far. And then
Believe me, he's done the most incredible work.
Yeah, it's unreal.
And even further now, with this new stuff that he's just dropped on us. Which I sent you the other night, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, for me, this is where my channel of the art is still thriving with his artists. And Pilmer's the same. He put Pilmer and him together, work the artwork. Let's not forget Pilmer here, because Pilmer's doing the characters. For all of you guys out there, Pilmer's the guy. Pilsmer. I always get his name completely wrong. Forgive me. Well, Pillman was coming to the boat party and I said, look, there was caricatures he's doing in D&B world, amazing. I said, well, maybe you and John can get together with these caricatures for the tour in America, which we did. And obviously this now, with the album artwork, it's going to blow your mind.
Yeah,
it's probably the best artwork for any album we've ever done.
Your sound.
And my daughter's been, Chance has been the biggest kind of influence for me in terms of her and her mates. All the mates go to Outlook, boat party. Apart from the one I had to remove, I had to pick their kid up to take him off the boat. You can't DJ anyway, fucking hate your guts. Jog on, you'll never go on the boat again. Yeah, I love it. Get to get people to get a little bit wayward. Yeah. But the idea of all of Chance's mates, even like Adore You when she first heard it it was on a iPod that had the wheel on the front. So we did a demo, me and Jim, me and I did the original demo. And I went out in the car and she was crying her eyes up. She was still at school. She hadn't even got to, this was when she was just turned 15 and a half. Well, Dad, this tune's amazing. I haven't finished it. But you know what, I better finish it for you. A bit of song Adore You. But the idea of that song living out at Outlook and the idea of all these kind of, I think Outlook did us a real good favour. I think it did a lot of genres a lot of good favours.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because it gave the genre-based people really great sound. Yeah. I think Simon and Noah did an amazing job of providing the right sound. You got Oration out there, you've got all the garage boys out there. You got Double E, a lot of man who you think, yeah, man. Do you know what I mean? New Generals.
It was always sound system showcase first, artist kind of after. Yeah. Whereas really it's always kind of the main thing you think is getting the artist sort of sound, the rig out after, then the drinks for them. It was just all about the passion, really. The core passion was the sound. And making it really out there and unbeatable, really.
Well, we've had some amazing, the Clearing, the first song I did, including proper behind it, I thought, yeah.
Yeah, too many good memories.
So, and I think for me, doing the back-to-backs with D-Beach was always good because he'd always get out of that.
He was very competitive, you two, in particular.
Well, we are, me and D. When we get together, he's not by default. But
Darren likes to not act like he's competitive.
I bring it out of him. I get him. I goad him in. I just goad him. I'll bring it out. I think the last one he knows is pretty much, I think the one before that was a bit of a draw. But I think the one after that he knows. SP didn't run me, but he got him down. He knows he got him down.
Let's get it in there.
So him down. But I'll give him his dues. He come to the party. No, came to the fight. Turned up. And Scotty, man, my favourite DJ. I can. When Scotty turns it on, he's been very nice to me on the back-to-backs. He has that. Scotty's got that real fucking ignorant thing where he'll side look at you. Wow. He'll be looking at it like this. He's playing a tune. He'll side look at you. He knows he's looking at you. He'll just play it down. He'll play the tune. And when we go back to walk over, he'll just turn away. just such a twat. But I love hearing Scotty play when Scotty's in that mode. You know what I mean? He's brilliant, man. And again, he's always got something to play. And all of them, you look at what D-Beach will pull something out on me. He'll pull out some dirty little breakage thing, something really hideous that he's done. Then he'll go and he'll play it down. He's the worst guy for that. Oh, just a little thing I've done.
Yeah.
I feel like I just want to, when you used to, in wrestling, when you used to run and go sideways and just like, because he was a big fella back then. He was a big old boy. Do you want to take him out sideways? Do you know what I mean? Just try and get him side on. Because he's one of the most, and he's just one of the most, for me, he could put out some beauties, man. When he was Skeptical Player, I've heard some good stuff. But I think Outlook.
I think what made a difference with the guys at Outlook was they had the balls to give us the stage and the opportunity, Whereas we might have been perceived as a more underground drum and bass label that couldn't really fill a big arena or Arena One or whatever else. They gave us that shot and continue to give us that shot.
Yeah, but I also think it's the way that I've never been into marketing. I'm into the art. I hate the marketing. I've never had the head for it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So you know what I mean? After the old idea where you didn't buy PR, you just did it.
Stats game, innit?
You know what I mean? But I think the idea of all of these artists on the back now and some of the great events that we've had. We've got a few surprises up our sleeves, kids.
The bass too dark.
You know, my boy, you know, Gremlins, Jesse and Gabe.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It's just been, I mean, that
ridiculous has been good. Yeah, it's yeah.
That out, if anyone, you know, when you give the baton of roughage, you know, you go, here's the baton of roughage.
Yeah.
If anyone you want to hand it to.
It's a true Headz for the Headz album, is that one. No doubt.
I think they've called it, was it Real Preservation Society? It's not the name of the Chinese they used to go to every week.
It was Gabe's favourite Chinese restaurant.
Gabe's favourite Chinese restaurant. Hey Gabe, what up? Oh, I'm walking! You're on camera! I'm doing my Master Metalheadz interview and you're on camera. Me and Anthony are sitting down in the gallery. Speak or forever hold your peace. I've woken you from your slumber. Right, I've got a question to ask you.
Yeah.
We're just talking about the baton of roughage that's been handed to you and Jess. Name, what's the name of the album again? Your album? Society, Preservation. Name it. Go on.
The Lee Garden Historical.
That's it, Lee Garden. What? Say it again.
The Lee Garden Historical Preservation Society.
What a mouthful.
What a mouthful. Based on the Chinese takeaway, your favourite place? Restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, have they got like, you know, Lazy Susans as well in there?
Well, they're closed now. They shut down like a couple of years ago.
So I can't place an order then. That's it. I'm done then. Listen, Gabe, we just.
You got next spot.
You got next spot. All right. Well, you keep it warm for me. It's Jamaican when I get there. All right, Gabe.
We should have the masters for like the pre-masters done in a week, because we've just been going back in and cleaning down the mix sounds.
Okay.
Are you saying that you are doing your duty, your Skywalkerness, and laying it out for the label? All right, deserved. Listen, God bless you, brother. You get back to sleep, yeah?
Wait a minute, the artwork.
Hang on.
The artwork has to be a picture of the restaurant.
The artwork's got to be a picture of the restaurant. You must have some old pictures.
Or something. It's got to be that.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Yeah, I knew it.
I want to see what your artwork is, because people forget, if anyone knows, anyone out there, any Headz fans, Gabe, as we call him, Gremlins, the other half, Gabe's a wicked artist, and he's all right, very good. And he can throw a mean axe. I've seen him. We're going now. We're going to leave you to it.
Alright, big up.
See you later, guy. I'll give a love to Jess. Peace out. See, I love that. Wake him up. Get him out. Rattle the boxes, they say. You know, I spoke to him the other day. I love waking him up. Old Gen 1. You know, he's a nurse.
Yeah.
Well, and I think SB81 does the same stuff. He works at the hospital too. Oh, well, he used to be called Knowledge. He wants to be called SB81 now. So Prince, I want it to be a sign. Who else has impressed you? I mean, let's talk about people off, not something that the main is, but when you think about people on the label, one guy that's been with us for such a long time, and never really, he was always in the background, and of course his album just came out, Old Frisky.
Mm-hmm.
He's done really well with that album. Beautiful album.
The new stuff he's done since the album as well, he's just...
It'd be a little bit
he's just really there now, I think, as an artist.
Really
he's
is.
really developed his sound. Yeah, he's like a cross between digital and D-Bridge for me sometimes. He's got that old Headz.
No. I think more. Yeah, I don't know. He's got that thing where he's got this
unique.
He's got this mad. He's got a really good flow. Musically, he's got a really good flow.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's starting to make it look easy, feel easy. No.
Mark System.
Oh, finally!
Yeah, first release on Headz ever.
First release.
Something that should have happened years earlier.
We did an exit Headz night. If anyone can remember, where was that? Del Dalston somewhere.
A long time ago. Yeah.
And it was made, and Darren dropped it on me.
The tune was called Headz versus Exit.
Headz versus Exit.
Yeah. Working time.
I love all these little things that we pull together.
Yeah.
Well, Mark's System. He's living in Ibiza at the moment, so. Love Mark, to you and the family. I like the way Steve, as an artist, Steve is probably the oldest guy on the label, apart from me, ain't he, really? Probably. I'd have thought.
Probably is, you know. Yeah.
Probably is, you know, Steve.
One of the older consistent guys on the label.
One of the oldest.
Consistently releasing still.
Yeah. And you think about what he's been doing. I mean, I'll get back to that in a second, but on the flip side of
the one with Outrage,
Kingdom and Outrage, you've got him over here with Time Flies and John B. and is it Marunga? Yeah. What's he called? Marunga, I think it is. I mean, you listen to it and you go, it's So when you look at a kid and you go, oh, it looks like the mum and the dad. And it does. It's really such a good fixture.
He collabs really well, Steve, I've always found. Obviously, still in awe of all the collaborative work he did with Spirit.
That kind of goes with that same, really. I mean,
yeah, them two were just match made in heaven. So
I think they brought out the best in both. I mean, that's what I always think. You can bring the best out of someone, and I think when you look at them two, I mean, it's a tough one. That's a tough one for all of us. Losing two, lost two absolute legends in late. But I think the idea of the 25 album and the idea of Crackdown being its own release,
yeah, of course.
On one side, yes, it's announced finally. Crackdown will be on vinyl on one side, and all the logos of Solar, Headz, and in a sense, on one side, because wow, you couldn't write that script really. To have that. I mean, it was my favourite tune of last year. Before we got locked out, I was just rolling that out. And another killer that Marcus was involved with, another guy that I think needs a good shout is Adred. I mean, the Kim album was a bit of a surprise for even me. Like, he delivered it, I'm like, hang on a minute, there's something more to... I knew when the demos wrapped, I'm like, let me have a listen, okay, cool. And a lot of stuff that I'd forgotten about, that he reworked.
There was a lot of versions going back and forth.
This Comics album, George has done.
Oh, yeah,
French Babies is probably one of the best tracks he's ever done, personally. Me, personally, one of the best tracks he's ever done. I guarantee you. I really believe that. And George, who's now eating baguettes and loads of wine in France.
Why is he called it French Babies? Do you think he's got some...
Because he's got a French bird and he's trying to get babies, I reckon.
Oh, okay.
He might be a little pitter-patter of tiny little comics feet. But that's like little legs in Rick and Morty, because he's already small, isn't he?
I hope he doesn't see this.
But he will see it, because you know George, like you've got that thing, yeah, you know what I mean? But I love George, got that munchkin face, and do you know what I mean?
He'll have a lovely head of hair.
Oh,
I'll tell you that much.
Beautiful. Yeah. George, I'm not talking about the worst of you yet, because the worst of me is just not even anywhere near the worst of you, man. Oh. But he's got his head down, and also, people forget George's been a great music teacher for kids. He's been working a lot with kids, working with music.
I think he put something up today, actually. I mean, earlier today or yesterday. I think he's taught about 60 students so far.
He's done a lot. He's done a lot.
Yeah, incredible.
You've got to go, man. Listen, I'm going to a lesson. I'm like, if they only knew you're at the hands of a madman. You know what I mean? Teetering on the edge of just teetering. You just might go postal at any moment. I don't know any shit. But he's done well, and I think this album, you know what? I think George, it's like me, George, the two lot growing up, Sunshine. You know, me and Anthony were talking about these two emails. You remember the Doll's House email? And do you remember the one? We did one up the other day. George, it's a classic. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt for Christmas. I think you were entertained by those emails. So for the fans that are watching, we'll use user discretion here. But me and George, we've had our loggerheads. But these two emails, George, please let me put them on a t-shirt, because they are really, really funny.
You both give it as well as you take it from my...
those two emails are brilliant.
I just love sitting back and watching, to be fair. I don't get involved, I just love sitting back and watching it. I think you both really get off.
He was only getting involved with trying to nick it. He's trying to nick some of the music. That's it. Every time you get involved, he's trying to nick it out the back door. So no one's looking. Nick it, quick, get it!
Don't let it speak to you like that, George. There's always other options.
George. This is when Anthony went through his King Lear stage. He was like, don't worry, whatever falls out, dispatch her there. I'm just waiting for it. It was called Staggers. It was actually called Staggers. Yeah. Can you imagine Anthony going like this? Yes, Goldie doesn't know. Yes. Oh, the king lives. He lives.
One day.
But listen, we love you guys, love all the artists, and love the label. And we haven't done this. Me and Andy have never done this.
True, actually. Yeah.
And now behind the curtain it's not
the Christmas podcast thing. There was a laugh. We need to get them back on the go.
Oh yeah, the Christmas podcast was a good laugh.
Yeah. A few people have said that.
They're brilliant.
We can do that.
Good bands.
With technology now, we should be able to do this.
Yeah, I just think that I've been trying, but to be honest, right now, 25, let's get this cooking. I've always thought about doing Desert Island Discs of Headz. Do my little podcast show here for Headz, which I'm going to be doing.
We thought, if you look at these shared Zoom calls and Google Hangouts and all these,
yeah.
One of them options is really good.
Well, looking at it, I mean, I'm just thinking about, what I'm thinking about doing is, and it depends on the fan base.
Yeah.
If these guys turn around and go, that was wicked, oh my God, how do you sign up to Metalheadz? You can jump on with Metalheadz. We're going to have 5 guests. We're going to have 5 people from the public, from our fan base. So you just jump on.
Good shout.
And just shoot the breeze. And that's what you want to ask and talk about. What you want to talk about.
I'm definitely keen to bring back the Christmas podcast in some way, shape or form. We all love that.
Yeah.
Some good memories.
Oh, and the hotel was good. The ones at the house were brilliant.
Remember that time Blocks tried to bring about 12 shots across the road from the bar downstairs? I think about 9 of them smashed the way over.
But yeah, to everyone on the label, Blocks and Escher, SB81, Gen 1, John B, Steve Digital, God, FaZe, Spencer. Who else am I forgetting here? Scar. Us 2. I'm the third, probably the only guys who've done 3 albums of Metalheadz.
Frisk, Mako,
DLR.
I can't even remember all of them. I struggle. If I've not got my laptop, I just really struggle.
We're looking at bits of paper all the time. I know it's good.
I think my memory's getting worse, or we've just got so much on, and maybe it's a mixture of the two.
It's a mixture of the two.
But there's a lot happening. A lot that I'm excited about anyway.
Right. But here we are. And I'm hoping that, all of thanks to you guys and Anthony. Done me proud, kid. You done me real proud. You done me really, really proud. Really, really proud. It's been amazing, isn't it? So we love you and leave you. Onward and upwards. But thank you for your support, and we'll see you soon.